Hi guys, welcome back to Vedic Astrology. Today we are going to be talking about the September month reading, and this is going to be a very interesting month. Difficult month as well, because we are going to be facing two eclipses, which is the lunar eclipse coming on around 7th of September, and then around 21st, 22nd of September we will find the solar eclipse coming as well. Now the lunar eclipse will be falling when moon comes in conjunction with Rahu in the sign of Aquarius, while the solar eclipse will come in place when moon will be conjunct with sun in the sign of Virgo around 21st of September. And both of these eclipses will be extremely crucial because they are going to be defining the way we are going to be approaching things. The lunar eclipse is going to be eclipsing our thought process, our decision making, our belief system, because Rahu is going to cast that shadow in your decision making as well. And depending on where this eclipse is happening in your chart, you will be affected accordingly. Whilst solar eclipse is going to be happening again with the conjunction of moon with sun, when moon is going to essentially eclipse over the sun, he is going to be falling right between the earth and the sun. But again, you will have to understand that this is going to be a partial solar eclipse, which is going to be happening in different parts of the world. Depending on what part of the world you are going to be watching this video from, you will have a respective impact as well as based on your zodiac signs. So, without further ado, what we are going to do now, we are going to look into some of the important dates that are going to be coming into picture in terms of transit and understand what's going to be meaning it for us. Now, guys, as you can see on your screen here, that Sun is currently in the sign of Leo until 15th of September. And then for the second half of the month, it is going to be transiting into the sign of Virgo. Now, Sun has been in its own Leo sign, but imagine it has been in difficult situation with its conjunction, with its collaboration with Ketu in the same house so far. Then Mercury is in Leo until 14th of September, and almost a day ahead it will advance into its sign of exaltation in the sign of Virgo from 15th of September onwards. So predominantly both Sun and Mercury are going to be remaining in the first half of the month in your Leo sign, and then they will together transit a day in difference into the sign of Virgo. Venus is in the sign of Cancer until September 14th, and it is going to come into the sign of Leo, where it will become conjunct with Ketu from September 14th onwards. Now, that is going to be very crucial, and we are going to analyze as to what sort of an impact we can anticipate there. Mars is in the sign of Virgo. It is there until September 12th, and from 13th onwards, it is going to be moving into the sign of Libra. Jupiter continues its presence in the sign of Gemini itself in Chatra. So that is a good bit that is happening there. And it is going to be in the sign of Gemini for the month of September. Remember, October is the time when it is going to be moving into its sign of exaltation. Saturn is continuing in its motion of retrogression, and it is in Pisces in Uttara Nakshatra. And the most important thing, guys, you have to understand here is that Saturn will be coming into deepest retrogression because it will be bang opposite to Sun as well from the second half of the month. So it will be getting into its deepest retrogression during the month of September, and that is where its impact becomes extremely crucial for all of us. Lots of things happening. Saturn getting into deep retrogression, two eclipses as I was addressing before, and then Rahu is in Purva Chatra of Jupiter itself in the sign of Aquarius, while it is coming out, in degrees. So it is coming out of its Bal Avastha. It is going to get a lot more strength in its itself. But the lunar eclipse is where it is going to cast its magic, and you have to be very sharp, shrewd in terms of understanding what sort of a impact it will have for you. And then Ketu, of course, is sitting in Pur Falguni nakshatra itself of Leo of Venus, which is where he will be becoming conjunct with Venus. So, guys, without further ado, we will now deep dive into your monthly reading and understand that what these transits are going to be impacting and how they are going to be impacting you for the course of the month. Now, Cancer, as you guys can see in your chart here, you have a cloud of planets in your first house, second, third, and you have Rahu sitting in your eighth house. That is exactly where the lunar eclipse is going to happen, while Saturn is in your ninth and Jupiter is in your 12th. Now, guys, it's important for us to understand that this is the month of two eclipses, and your Lagna Lord, or if you're watching this from a Cancer moon sign standpoint, it is going to be the one which is going to be facing eclipse in the eighth house. It is one of the most challenging and difficult situations for you guys, especially to go through because it's a key planet in your case, Cancer. Now, we'll start with understanding the eclipse itself. When the first lord is in the eighth house, there are going to be challenges, there are going to be surprises, difficulties that you can anticipate from an emotional perspective, health perspective. Transformation of some sorts is going to come into play. Now, many people are going to recommend you that, this is going to be a period of new beginnings, and post lunar eclipse, you will have a fresh start. Everything will be rosy, blah, blah, blah. But you have to understand, guys, that one has to hit rock bottom before they bounce back. So if the approach has to be hitting rock bottom, that is not what I'm recommending here. And what I'm trying to suggest is that we have to be proactively aware of things that can be difficult. So from your health perspective, your body perspective, mind perspective, you are going to see some difficulties. There could be a lot of stress, tension coming in your life, unknown fears that could be bothering you. See, Rahu has got into higher degrees now, which means that this Rahu is out of its Balavastha. It is going to bring its share of confusion, fear, scare you, give you illusion. It might cast you with its unimaginable appetite of ambition, desires, objectives. All of those demonic tendencies are going to cloud on your mind. And then there could be an unexpected fear of things going wrong, accident kind of situations, health related matters which could concern you. So those things are going to play on top of your head during this period, which is going to be crucial for you to understand, because it is all happening in the eighth. Plus the Lagna Lord is going into eighth. So there will be matters which will be of concern with respect to research, longevity, your health, fitness, or your overall survival for that matter. And that when I say survival, it is not just survival in terms of the living significance, but say survival at work, career, anything related to that. These things can give you turbulence. Then this, because it is happening in that 2-8 axis, you will see that all of these fears, these pain points are going to trickle towards how you are communicating things within your family, within your savings. There could be an impact in your savings, in your money, in your food related disease or problems could also impact you. Food poisoning could be one of the things that can impact you. So you have to be cognizant of all these problems coming into picture. Your communication can be dicey, or your fears can be so obvious that it can scare the hell out of your near and dear ones as well. They could also be very worried. At the same time, any kind of unethical activity, under the table activity, any activity which disrupts the sanctity of partnership, marriage, trust, belief system with your partners, with your business partners, those should also be avoided. Rahu will give you the illusion, hey, this is an opportunity to make a short term gain. Should you pursue or not pursue, that is going to be a decision that you will have to make. And that is why I'm saying this is going to be a month, difficult month of September. And I have been telling it out to all the zodiac signs. It's not that I'm just unnecessarily giving a difficult reading for you folks. Even for my own personal signs, I'm extremely worried and careful about this month. So what I'm trying to suggest here is that please be not jumping into new initiatives, into new decision making. If things have been running smooth in a certain fashion, or if things have been in plan for certain activities, do not take or navigate into new decisions from 7th of September, when this transit or when this eclipse is going to come into picture. Now, it can be a couple of days before as well as post that, which means from 6th, 7th of October to 10th of October, you must be extremely careful around this bit. Now, you have to also understand that the solar eclipse will happen around 21st of September in your third house, but we'll touch upon that in a minute. In your first house, you have the presence of Venus for the first half of the month. Venus happens to be the lord of your gains as well as your fourth house. So it's an important critical planet for you, and it is present in the first. This is going to be a period where you are going to be extremely motivated to achieve certain outcomes. This is going to be a period where you could be driven by desires, you could be driven by outcomes, you could be driven by the financial gains that you want to make. And this is where that lunar eclipse thing is so crucial, because are you taking it to a next level? Are you ready to risk it all? Are you actually adding what should I say, more problems for you in the quest of making those outcomes or achieving those goals? That is a balance, and that is something only you can figure out, guys. Cancer, only you can figure out. Nobody can answer that question for you. So that is something that will be on top of your mind, because of the 11th lord being in the lagna, and at the same time the fourth lord is also in the first house or in your Rashi if you're watching from a moon sign perspective. And when that is happening, somewhere or the other, you will be brimming with emotions. You could be full of emotions of all sorts, both positive and negative. And these emotions will be at their highest level because moon is going through an eclipse in your case. So that period that I called out, it is going to be a period where you are going to be having an heightened level of emotional activity. This is also going to be a period where you could feel as if, I've chased a lot of targets and ambitions and goals, and I want to relax. I want to be lazy for some time. I don't want to be doing any activity at this point in time. So that sort of counter-intuitive, thought process would also come into picture. So please be watchful. You could be driven to have some bit of a relaxed period, some bit of a chill period for yourself, and there is no harm in doing that. I do not have any, issues with that happening, but it will only add to the problems once we get towards the second half of the month. Okay. So be watchful on that front. Now, whilst all this is happening, what you will notice is that Rahu is already in trine with Jupiter, and Mars will be coming in trine in the later half of the month. But in the first half, Mars is at least in the third house. So be cognizant that your expenses could get on the rise. You could have tendencies of making some high valued acquisition as well, some kind of high value risk as well as what you could take. So the good part is, while that eclipse comes into picture, Jupiter still will be trying and giving an aspect on that Rahu and Moon. So it can help you prevail sanity, but you will have to stick to your guns on spirituality, religion, enlightenment of some sorts. Maybe, getting feedback from your superiors, elders, because you see, your ninth house is also ruled by Jupiter itself. So it becomes crucial for you from that perspective. Now, since I touched upon the ninth house, in this is where you have Saturn placed in retrogression, and it will get into its deepest retrogression from second half of September all the way to October onwards, when Sun will also be bang opposite to it, and that is where the eclipse period will also come into picture. We'll talk about that in a second. But Saturn's deepest retrogression means that, being your seventh and eighth lord in the ninth house, there are going to be difficulties. There are going to be situations where you will have to work, rework, do additional amount of travel, say for your business. There will be difficulties in your marital relationship. There will be confusion in or argumentative situations with your spouse. It might be hard for them to figure out as to why you are doing certain things, or they could be facing difficulties from the outside world as well, and you might have to put an extra effort in helping them out of that situation. So problems will be there, difficulties will be there, coming in from your work perspective, from your father, from your mentors, from your gurus, from your bosses, superiors at work, from your clientele for that matter, customers, because they are your bosses in a way if you're running a business. If you're a student, your teacher, your professor, there will be some level of disagreement, problems, miscommunication that can crop up. And the deeper worry that I see is that, sitting from here, Saturn is giving a retrograded aspect to your 11th house, which means that whatever targets you have in mind, it is not going to be easy. Saturn is going to make you drill hard. It's not going to be easy for you to accomplish those goals. Yes, I mentioned that your desire lord Venus is in the lagna, is in the first house. But now you are understanding why I was skeptical it will not work out, because Saturn is going to bring that rework sort of a situation, difficulties, thanks to his aspect. And he's the eighth lord as well. So it's not an easy bit. Then he is giving an aspect to your third house, a retrograded aspect. And my point of you being lazy or dropping the ball somewhere is getting amplified, where he is giving a retrograded aspect to your third house. which means your entire energy of pushing forward could take a back seat. And you will have to fight through these things. At least the good bit is Mars is sitting there. We will talk about that more when I get into the other placements. So Saturn is going to do that. It is going to bring in challenges in terms of your short distance and long distance travel. So please be mindful of any kind of travel decisions that you are making during the course of this month. The other bit is that there could be complications, within your family, within your siblings. There could be argumentative situations with your siblings as well. Disagreement, some kind of court litigation kind of a thing can come up with your siblings. So do not escalate the situations, because the matters can easily go out of control, can easily get out of hand during the course of this month because of sheer negligence. The Saturn is giving a retrograded aspect to your sixth house as well. See, you see, Jupiter is giving an aspect to that house, Mars giving an aspect, and so is Ketu. So, whilst you might feel it is a Shatruhanta yoga, it is not a yoga in which you will be able to accomplish success against your enemies that easy. It will be hard fought battles for you. And Cancer, you are not one of those battle oriented people. You are kind, generous sign from that standpoint. And that is why I will say unnecessary situations that can be navigated peacefully should be addressed that way, especially because of the eclipse happening for your lung lord itself. Now, when I move further, I see that in the first half of the month itself, you have Sun, Mercury, and Ketu forming a conjunction in your second house. One might say second lord is in the second. The 12th lord, but is three places away into the second. And that is again tying down to the complications that I was highlighting from a Saturn perspective. There will be difficulties with family. There could be issues, health related matters. Some sort of a money related issue could come into picture. However, money matters will not affect you deeply, because you will find, first of all, I strongly believe if money matters is a problem, it is the last of the problem, right? Human related thing, health related thing, character related issues are bigger issues to address. But at this same time, from an astrological standpoint, I believe that though money will not be the biggest concern, since Ketu is sitting in the second house, he will not let you even think about those matters. So he would want you to disassociate from those issues. But issues still will come from a family standpoint. There will be some kind of ego clashes. There could be some kind of situations where your family, your near and dear ones, do not agree with your thought process. And even though if you are right, my friends, please take a step back. Please take a step back and let your family, let your near and dear ones throw in the arguments that they want to throw. Let them communicate what they feel is best suited in this situation, so that you can navigate this, or maybe just push this problem statement to die another day. At the end of the day, that matters. So you'll have to contemplate on those regards. The third lord is 12th to itself. Travel related issues will come into picture, some sort of losses, some kind of accidental risk is there. But at the same time, you will have to put in efforts in convincing people, in making your family member, your spouse, understand why you are doing and what you are doing. So there could be a buildup of frustration as well that can come into picture. Please do not let that spoil you. If you're a student watching this video, it becomes a very crucial period, because your fifth lord and your 10th lord is in the third house. So it is a very good period for you to put in the effort to learn something new, to be enterprising, to be putting the hard work wherever and whatever required. The first half of the month is especially helpful if you are looking forward to go for any kind of competitive examinations and crack them for your success. So that will be much more positive activity from that perspective. However, this Mars is also going to be giving an aspect to your sixth house, to your ninth house, and your 10th house from the third. So avoid confrontations if you are a working professional. Avoid confrontation with your client, with your bosses, with your superiors. They will bring in certain situations which will not be a jolly mood situation for you, but that is how you have to navigate. This is the month of eclipses. This is the month of confusion. This is a month of discontentment. So we'll have to deal with all those kind of problems. But it is a good month if you have to put in that effort at your workplace, if you have to address any kind of loans that you've taken, any kind of daily rhythm that has been keeping you behind. It is going to help you address all those problems as well. But as we move towards the second half of the month, we find that Venus will now transit from your first to your second house and become conjunct in the second. Venus is a denoter of relationships, guys. And you see, he is also going to become Nicha Abhilashi, because he is going to be moving into the sign of Virgo later in October. So when he is here in the second house in conjunction with Ketu, which is not so prime when it comes to relationships, bonding, material aspects, you will see there will be a lot of dissatisfaction which will creep in. Yes, 11th Lord is coming to the second. It is a good Dhani Yoga. Yet that dhan, that money, that gains, that success could get denied. It could get repulsed during the course of this month. So again, do not make any big bets, crazy bets as well. From a fourth house perspectives, any kind of major transformation to your assets, any kind of purchase of property, shifting of residence, etc., should be avoided as much as possible unless until absolutely necessary. The risk that I see is that if you are not able to navigate the situations well in the first half of the month, second half will definitely result into further alienation, distance from the family. Now, that distance could be forced distance because from a work perspective, you have to travel out, so you're not able to spend time with the family, but it could be otherwise as well. However, if you are able to still fight it out in the first half, there will be certain disagreements, but it will not be an absolutely abysmal situation where you are not able to reconcile with your family. So I hope you understand why dealing with situations in a delicate fashion, especially with respect to your relationships, your near and dear ones, in the first half becomes so crucial because that is going to determine the second half for you guys. Now, Sun, which is your second lord, will be coming into the third house in the second half of the month, along with Mercury, who will get exalted here. Whilst Mercury gets exalted, there will be a tremendous intent of you to put a lot of hard work. You will be motivated to take a lot of steps, but the expenses will also come in big time. Losses could also come in big time, and they could mount on you because this is also a period where you will find the eclipse coming in your third house. I definitely anticipate some problems related to family, with respect to money, with respect to food, diet related issues, with respect to your siblings, or your own efforts in general not getting the due recognition. You might be slogging your ass off to make things happen, but the acceptance of it, the acknowledgement of it, the due acknowledgement of it, whatever is fair for the credit that you deserve, might not come your way, guys. So let it go. Focus on what needs to be done and what needs to be accomplished. In general, I would have given a lot of more positive recommendation with Mercury coming into this sign of exaltation. But because this is happening in conjunction to this eclipse, and that too, a lunar eclipse already earlier happened for you from your own Rashi Lord or Lagna Lord perspective, it's going to be one of the challenging periods for you folks. So please be prepared to deal with those problems. Now, once you move into the second half of the month, you will realize that Mars will now be in your fourth house, trine with Rahu and Jupiter. Support is coming in from Jupiter. That is a good bit that is happening there. It gives an exalted aspect to your seventh house. So many of you who are in businesses, who are in relationships, on business partnerships, in marital partnerships, there could be growth that might come in your business perspective. There could be growth that might come to your spouse itself, and they could start doing excellently well. But at the same time, there will be some degree of confusion, arguments, disagreements within the family. That is going to continue. You will be protective towards your assets. You could be taking initiatives with respect to new material purchase of a home, property, assets, movable, immovable assets, cars, automobiles, whatever you can think of, any kind of gadgets, new IP, intellectual investments, those kind of things will be on top of your mind. Your spouse and business partnerships will do well. You will be focused towards your work as well because you are giving a good aspect to your 10th house. So, whilst Mars in the fourth, not a great position, but he is addressing his seventh and 10th pretty well and also giving a good aspect, protective aspect towards your gain. So, you will be very protective of your desires. Like you will know that I have to achieve this and I must plan. Like you would be thinking proactively that, okay, I need to do this thing, I need to do that thing, and I need to make sure that I take all the steps possible to safeguard my interest, to safeguard my ambitions in future because I've seen so many problems coming in. All that is great, guys. But as long as there is no drastic shift or any kind of major shift required, try and push that through September. I would not be betting on making new investments, new decisions, new initiatives, new strategies for the month of September because it can backfire. If you can address that, I think you will be in a much better situation coming in the month of October. All right. I know Dev Astrology has a lot of positive thought process when it comes to preparing the readings, but it is my fiduciary responsibility when I see challenges coming in for all across all of us. I also give these warning kind of readings as well so that you can proactively prepare. The idea is not for us to hit rock bottom, but prepare proactively so that we can recuperate early as well. If you've liked the effort, hard work, initiative towards preparing this reading, I request you to please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dave Astrology, leave your comments here.